Yep, well, that's great.
Well, I started life, I like to think, as a biologist, I mean professional life. That was about 40 years ago. I was always interested in farming. And in the early 1970s, because I didn't do research, I started writing about biology instead. In the early 1970s, by my choice, I went to work for Farmers Weekly. I really wanted to do that. And I regarded it as a kind of apprenticeship or as a degree course, really, post-grad. And got seriously involved in it, and then started looking at farming worldwide and nutrition and everything that goes with farming, really, including cooking. And it's been a kind of obsession, you could say, for the last 35, 37, something like that, years. And I've seen in that time, when I worked for Farmers Weekly, in the early 70s, Britain still had a serious farming industry. And people went into it, with great ambitions as young men and young women, knowing they had a great career ahead of them. In that time, I've seen the whole of British farming virtually dismantled, handed over to big business. And I reckon one of my little adages is that this has been probably the worst act of government-supported vandalism since the dissolution of the monasteries. Only actually, although I take the monasteries seriously, it's more important than that, because agriculture is right at the heart of everything that we do. And we've seen the whole labour force reduce, we've seen thousands of farms disappear, we've seen traditional systems of husbandry sacrificed, and so on and so on. At this time, 2009, even government is finally waking up to the idea that you can't go on like this. I mean, even 3 years ago, I've shared platforms, public platforms, with government representatives who said things like, the only future for British agriculture is that it should go the way of British mining. In other words, we should get rid of it. And I reckon actually the only reason it did survive the last few years is because it's conspicuous, and there will be enough people to object to it, whereas there weren't enough people to object to the mines disappearing, except of course for the miners themselves, obviously.